Hello, my dear children. Good morning. Welcome back to today's online revision class. I am Radhika, your economics teacher. As I mentioned earlier, today you have a revision session. Today we are revising the chapter 2, People as Resource. The main topics from this lesson are human resource, human capital formation, economic activity, quality of population, and unemployment. Let's see each one. First one, people as resource. What is the meaning of people as resource? It means to show population as an asset for the economy rather than a liability. Then people means here referring which people? It refers to the working population of a country with regard to their existing productive skill and ability. Then how the human becomes resource when we made investment in the form of education, training and medical care. Clear? What is the meaning of people as resource? It shows population as an asset for the economy rather than a liability. Then the population means it refers to the working people of a country with regard to their existing productive skill and ability. Then how the human becomes resource with the help of education, training and medical care. Then what is the meaning of human capital? It is the stock of skill and productive knowledge embodied in them. What is human capital? It is the stock of skill and productive knowledge embodied in them. Then what is the meaning of human capital formation? When the existing human resource is further developed by becoming more educated and healthy, we call it a human capital formation. Human capital means it is the stock of skill and productive knowledge. Human capital formation means when the existing human resource is further developed by becoming more educated and healthy, we call it as human capital formation. How can investment be made in human capital? In which way we can made investment on human capital? Which way we can make investment on human capital, children? Through education, training and medical care. With the help of that means we want to make a investment in the form of education, training and medical care on human resource. Okay. Then what is the use of it? It yields higher income. It helps to earn more income. How, children? This is because higher productivity of the more educated or the better trained persons. Higher productivity of the more educated or the better trained person as well as the higher productivity of healthier people. Because the productivity will increase. The person's productivity will increase. With the help of that, they can earn more money. Clear? Then there is one example, Japan. You know, in Japan there is a scarcity of natural resources. But it is a developed and rich country. How this happened, children? Because what? It has invested heavily in human resources. In that country, government made investment on where, children? On human resources. In the form of how? In the form of education, training and medical care. In the form of education, training and medical care. It increased the productivity of the population. With the help of education, training and medical care, it increased the productivity of the population and led to economic growth. Clear, children? Japan, there is a scarcity of natural resources, but it is a developed and a rich country. How this happened? Because it has invested heavily in human resources in the form of education, training and medical care. It increased the productivity of the population and this led to economic growth. Clear? Then, educated people will create a virtuous cycle. That means it led to economic growth. This is the positive impact. Then, uneducated people will create which type of society, children? That is vicious cycle. That led to, that means it will discourage economic growth. This is the negative impact. Clear? Educated people will create a virtuous cycle, that is economic growth, and it is the positive impact. Uneducated people will create a vicious circle, it will discourage economic growth and it is a negative impact. Then, economic activity. What is economic activity? The activities which result in the production of goods and services and add value to the national income are called economic activities. The activities which result in the production of goods and services. Then it add value to the national income. It contributing money to the national income. Then that activities are called economic activities. Okay. On the basis of nature of activity, on the basis of activity, the economy can be divided into primary sector, secondary sector and a tertiary sector. On the basis of nature of activity, the economy can be divided into primary sector, secondary sector and a tertiary sector. Then, which all are the activity will come under the primary sector? Yes, agriculture, mining, fishing, etc. Then, which all are the activities will come under secondary sector? Manufacturing. Very good. Then, which all are the activities will come under tertiary sector? That is banking, transport and communication, education, etc. Clear, children? On the basis of nature of activity, economy can be divided into primary, secondary and tertiary sector. On the purpose of activity, on the basis of purpose of activity, the economic activity can be divided into market activity and non-market activity. Then, which type of activities are called a market activity? That means they providing services or they producing goods for getting money. You know, economic activity means it is the activity which result in the production of goods and services. That means they producing goods and services. If they producing goods and services with the hope of getting money, then that activities are called market activities. Then please say then what are called non-market activities? That means they providing services or they producing product for self-consumption or self-satisfaction. Clear, children? Economic activity means the activities which result in the production of goods and services. When the activity, through the activity, when we producing goods for getting money, then that activities are come under market activity, and we producing good for self-consumption or a self-satisfaction, then that activities are called a non-market activity. Then, quality of population. Which all are the factors depend on the quality of population? First one, the literacy rate. Then second, health of a person indicated by life expectancy and skill formation acquired by the people of a country. These are the factors will determine the quality of population. Which all are the factors? The literacy rate, health of a person indicated by life expectancy, skill formations acquired by the people of a country. That means first one is education. Then for improving the status of education in our country, what all are the steps taken by our government? The first, introducing Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. That means compulsory and free education for all children under or between 6 to 14 years. Then second, implementing midday meal scheme. Okay, then these all are the schemes or a project started by the government for improving the educational status in our country. First, introducing Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, then second, implementing midday meal scheme, then next, focusing on higher education using the 12th plan. Under the 12th plan, we give more importance for the higher educations. And setting up Navodaya Vidyalaya. I said that is AC and ST for those people, for those children, the government set up a schools. Those schools are called Navodaya Vidyalaya. And increasing education expenditure. That means the government decided to spend a lot of money and they increase the percentage of money spending for the education purpose. Okay, introducing Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, implementing midday meal scheme, focusing on higher education using the 12th plan, setting up of Navodaya Vidyalaya, increasing education expenditure. Next, health. Children, being healthy is more important than being educated. Then what are the steps taken our government for improving that health status in our country? Establishment of hospital, clinic in rural and urban areas. In both areas, establishment of more hospital. Increase the number of hospitals. Then second, regular free health checkups and campaigning. And third, establishment of medical colleges. These are the steps taken by our government for improving health status in our country. The next one is unemployment. What is the meaning of unemployment? When people who are willing to work cannot find a job. This condition is called, or this situation is called unemployment. The people are ready to do the work but they can't get any job. That situation is called unemployment. And then which age group will come under this unemployment? That means the workforce populations between 15 to 59 years. That age group will come under this unemployment category. Okay. Classification of unemployment. There are three types of unemployment. First one is seasonal unemployment, disguised unemployment, and educated unemployment. Seasonal unemployment, disguised unemployment, and educated unemployment. Then seasonal and educated together, where we can see this type of unemployment, where we can see children, this is in the rural area. Then educated unemployment in the urban area. Okay, educated unemployment we can see in the urban area, and in the rural area we can see seasonal and disguised unemployment. Then what is the meaning of seasonal unemployment? When people are unemployed at a particular times of the year. That means in some month they have no job. They are not getting any work. And that is called seasonal unemployment. When people are unemployed at a particular times of the year. Then where we can see this type of unemployment? That is seasonal unemployment. That is seasonal unemployment we can see in both sides, that is in rural area and urban area also. That means in the rainy season, the casual workers, that means the construction worker and some other works are doing that road, like that construction of road, that purpose. Those people will not get any job during the rainy season. That time they are unemployed. Okay, so the seasonal unemployment we can see in both areas, urban and rural areas. Next one is disguised unemployment. Disguised unemployment means where people are engaged in work than required. That means more people are engaged in work than actually required. I mean required only less people, but more people are employed for doing works. Actually, this is a hidden unemployment. That means when we look at that time, they are employed. Actually, they are unemployed because they are not producing anything. That type of unemployment are called a disguised unemployment. Then, where we can see this disguised unemployment, that in the rural area. Seasonal and disguised, both the type of unemployment we can see in the rural area. Then next one is educated unemployment. Educated unemployment means the unemployment among people with an academic degree. That means the people who have a degree, those not getting any job. That means that educated people cannot get any job. That situation is called, otherwise those unemployed are called educated unemployment. That situation. Clear, children? Then seasonal and disguised these are the unemployment in the rural area and educated unemployment in the urban area. Clear? Okay, children. Now I am going to stop here. See you next time. Thank you.